So here's the latest update with my Lexmoto ZSB. I'm now done 381 miles. Jobs that have been done on it include fitting an NGK spark plug cap. I don't think that made any difference whatsoever. I also fitted an NGK spark plug. That did improve the carburation or the firing somewhat. I wouldn't say it's made a hellish difference, but I did get an occasional misfire with the original Torch brand spark plug. I've also dismantled and taken the bottom off the carb and blasted it through with carb cleaner. It seems to be how it should be, I guess. The oil was changed. I did that at the 301 mile point. I just used 15 watt 40 car oil. What else? The main thing that I dislike about this bike actually is the saddle. I mentioned that before in the earlier thing. The problem with the saddle is if you look at the seat, the profile, you'll see it's higher here and it goes down to there. So what happens is your arse is here and you've not got support for your legs. So when I was doing the valves this morning, you have to take the saddle off and the side panels to get access to the tappet covers. And there's obviously a piece of plastic that goes underneath the tank. Well, if you could have actually lifted the saddle up higher, it would have been much more comfortable, but of course it's not designed for that. So that's definitely a design problem. It might look cool, might look nice and flat, but that's not a good idea for comfort. 15 miles or so and you're getting a numb bum. One of the other things that I commented on before was that the rear LED unit wasn't working, or one of the LEDs wasn't working. Well, actually it's just come back on today. It's a little bit duller than the rest. You can see it there, there's bright sunlight on that, but it's come back on. It had stopped, so that's a bit of a bonus. On the other side of the bike, ever since this bike was picked up, the dip has not been functioning, but the side light works fine. So I've got a couple of bulbs ordered to replace that. Apart from that, other updates, I think since the 200 odd mile point, the tyres are fucking dire in the wet. That's a polite way of putting it. If you're going to be riding this bike in the wet, I certainly wouldn't put a great deal of faith into these things. They feel fine, you know. They don't feel like you know, hard nylon as such, but they're great in the dry. But wouldn't we want to be doing too much leaning over in the wet? I had two experiences with it. One was the rear tyre broke away at one point, and then on another section of the journey, the bike actually slid on a corner. So that was enough to make me think, yep, I'm not going to trust these in the wet. And when it slid on the corner, the road wasn't actually soaking wet, it was just the first kind of start of the rain, a bit drizzly. What else can I say? I'm not too sure about the miles per gallon I'm getting. I've actually reset the trip, and so far on this one I've got GT85 sprayed over everything at the moment. I've done 381 miles odometer. I've done 56.5 miles so far on this tank. So I'm going to measure my miles per gallon because I don't think I'm getting anywhere near 100 at the moment. Other than that, everything else is fine with it. I say the main thing that's bugging me is the saddle. I did a 51 mile jaunt on it the other day to get some paint, and by the time I got back I was pretty relieved to get off the fucking thing. But I think if you're just doing, you know, short jaunts, 10-15 miles, you'll be okay. But for me, anything more than that, it's a bit of endurance that starts to take place. So anyway, that's enough from me. If you got any questions, oh, one other thing I've just done today. I don't know if you guys have this problem, but when the bike's ticking over, you get a lot of rattling from the, or I do, from the plate. And the reason for that is there's a plastic part of this mudguard that sticks out well, I've just put a piece of an old sponge in there to absorb that, so it's not tapping away. Apart from that, that's pretty much it. So there you go. Lexmoto ZSB 381 mile update.